Andrew is studying jazz drumming at a music conservatory. He begins playing for an abusive bandleader named Terrence Fletcher. His attempts to impress Fletcher lead to a meltdown. He gets kicked out and gets Fletcher fired. Fletcher sets up one last gig to sabotage Andrew.
I know it was you.
Andrew plays a big you solo and finally earns Fletcher's approval for better or for worse. Dr. King wants better legislation for black voters.
The right to vote unencumbered.
But President Johnson is unwilling to help.
This voting thing is just going to have to wait.
He gives speeches,
We can do this.
holds demonstrations, some white people get killed, and suddenly President Johnson is willing to put forward new legislation.
Strike down voting restrictions in all elections.
Benedict Cumberbatch plays a brilliant but socially disagreeable man named Sherlock Holmes, Alan Turing.
Mother says I can be off-putting sometimes on account of being one of the best mathematicians in the world.
He builds a machine to crack the German Enigma code during World War II.
Who's Christopher?
He names it after his dead childhood friend.
Christopher is dead. What if you had a husband?
Gets married despite being gay, gets divorced,
Much nicer ring than the one I made you.
and eventually chemically castrated by the government he served.
To cure me of my homosexual predilections.
Almost all of which is historically inaccurate, except that last part. Gustave is the concierge of the Grand Budapest Hotel. He's dapper and has sex with many old women, one of whom dies and leaves her fortune to
I
him.
fear this may be the last time we ever see each other.
Her homicidal relatives want to keep the fortune to themselves,
I swear to God, I'll cut your throat.
which leads to Gustave going to prison, escaping prison, enlisting help from a secret concierge society,
Are you Monsieur Gustave?
and eventually a shootout in the Grand Budapest. He gets the inheritance but is shot by fascists.
So it all went to me.
His faithful lobby boy takes over the hotel, but he's dead now, and so's the narrator. Chris Kyle loves America,
This is the greatest country on earth. I do everything I can to protect it.
so he enlists in the Navy SEALs, develops some racist opinions towards Iraqis.
They're f***ing savages.
He becomes the deadliest sniper in U.S. history.
Navy has credited you with over 160 kills.
Returns from Iraq haunted by PTSD, overcomes PTSD,
I'm so happy that I've got my husband back.
and gets gunned down out of absolutely nowhere by a veteran he's trying to help. This is Mason, and this is also Mason 12 years later. Between then, he deals with some lackluster dads,
Dad, do you have a job?
I think that's fucking funny. No, I'm not your dad. You know how I know that? Because I'm actually here.
gets into photography,
The images you're turning in are cool.
and becomes an insufferable teenager.
I just want to try and not live my life through a screen.
Stephen Hawking meets Jane Wilde. He gets diagnosed with motor neuron disease.
I'm afraid average life expectancy is 2 years.
They get married anyway. He becomes famous. They both remarry. And he takes Jane with him to turn down a knighthood and reflect on their life together.
Look what we made.
Riggin is an aging Hollywood actor very literally haunted by his former glory.
Shake off that pathetic goatee.
He attempts to regain artistic credibility by adapting Raymond Carver for the stage, but one of his actors is injured during rehearsal. He hires a method actor to fill the role, who screws him over.
Working with Rick and Thompson's like walking with a monkey?
He seems poised for failure.
I'm going to destroy a play.
He attempts to commit suicide on opening night, but instead shoots off his nose, garnering rave reviews from critics.
Yeah, this is what I wanted.
Gaffney, we had our own brand of diplomacy. Shake with your right hand, but hold a rock in your left.
My dick is bigger than a monkey's paw.